Good afternoon, everyone. John Donnelly is my name from Your Holistic Academy, and today I have a very special guest with me, Stephen Travers. How are you doing today, Stephen?
I'm keeping very well, John.
Good. Good to see you today, Stephen. We wanted to talk about Haveling today. You're a director of the UK and International Haveling, and maybe some people are listening that haven't come across Haveling before. So can you give us a little bit of background to the Haveling technique?
Yes, so Havening is a groundbreaking psychosensory approach for gaining freedom from anxiety-based disorders, trauma, and creating emotional resiliency. When we say psychosensory, what we mean is in the techniques or the treatments we use, we apply sensory touch very gently on the arms, on the palms of the hands, and also very gently around the face. Then we use various psychological visualization and distraction techniques.
Okay, so it's the focus here is on identifying traumas or anxieties or sort
Yes.
of and trying to disconnect those, if you like, is it?
Yes, so just to give you a bit of background about Havening, it was developed by an American medical doctor called Dr. Ronald Rudin and his brother, Dr. Stephen Rudin. So there's a lot of neuroscience behind Havening. And what we've discovered from the groundbreaking work of the doctors is how trauma becomes encoded in the limbic system, in the amygdala, and how that then produces symptoms, anxiety-based symptoms, issues such as panic attacks, post-traumatic stress, fears, phobias, those pathological emotions people can't shift sometimes, those feelings of feeling unresolved, anger, shame, guilt. Some people have abandonment issues, etc., or that feeling of not feeling good enough. Yeah. So we now know how to actually pinpoint and identify the roots of what causes those symptoms. And with the Havening techniques, and it does sound a little bit unbelievable, but we can resolve most, say, for example, traumatic memories within minutes. We can completely resolve the emotional trauma from them and free the person from it.
Yeah, so it makes sense that those emotions are stored in the body, if you like.
Yeah, they're stored in a part of the brain called the amygdala, which is part of your limbic system, the reptilian brain that controls that fight, flight, or freeze response or reaction that we feel when we feel threatened, anxious, or uncomfortable. Yeah.
So then the therapy is about the reprogramming, if you like. Is it reprogramming the cells? Is that?
Yeah, it's about changing the landscape of the brain, the electrical chemical landscape of your brain. Your brain and body are electrical chemical organs. And when you're feeling very stressed or anxious, there's a lot of cortisol and adrenaline being activated in the brain and the body. And when we apply the sensory touch, because Haveling is really about the neurobiology of sensory touch and how it changes what's happening in the brain and the body. So when we apply the touch, it's actually increasing positive calming neurotransmitters such as serotonin, oxytocin, and GABA, and it's calming your whole autonomic nervous system down as well. So it reduces your heart rate, your blood pressure, and just calms the whole body down. And this happens within minutes because of what's happening in the brain when we apply sensory touch.
Yeah, so the frequency, the brainwave frequencies are changing, Stephen, as you go through the therapy. Is that right?
Absolutely right. What makes Haveling special is that when we apply the sensory touch, it's producing something called delta waves in the brain. Delta waves occur in slow wave sleep. So, and it brings the brain waves right down to 0.5 to 2 hertz per cycle per second. Like, for example, when you're very stressed and anxious, your brain waves can be up really high, up to 70, 80, 90, up to even 100 hertz gamma wave. And when you apply this touch, and as it produces these delta waves, it simultaneously changes the chemistry as well in the brain and the body. it actually activates the serotonin, the oxytocin, the GABA, those feel-good chemicals.
Yeah, yeah. And this is all science-based. The research is all, and this, obviously there's a whole body of research, Stephen, that has supports all of this, this therapy.
Yes, there's lots of research and studies done around sensory touch and how it changes what's happening in the brain and the body. The Haveling techniques are really based on the latest discoveries and research into neuroscience in terms of how touch changes what's happening in the brain and the body. And Haveling is a very specialized approach specifically for anxiety-based disorders, trauma, and creating resiliency. So when we work with clients who come with us with anxiety-based issues, we know now how to pinpoint and identify what's actually causing the problem. In regards to the research, Dr. Rudin did over 10 years research into how trauma becomes encoded in the brain and the body, how sensory touch is actually changing what's happening in the limbic system, the body. And we have over, we've literally have over 50,000 cases done. And there's been studies done in King's College London with Professor Neil Greenberg on Haveling and on the extraordinary impact it has, even in one session, on anxiety-based disorders.
Brilliant. So you're combining the touch with the sort of visualizations, if you like, that are part of the therapy, is it?
Yes. So to give you an example, if I was working with someone maybe with a panic attack or panic attacks, or they're suffering with post-traumatic stress and they were having a lot of anxiety symptoms, they weren't sleeping, they were feeling hypervigilant, they were depressed or down, you know, they may have been having other physiological symptoms, heart palpitations, feeling quite physically tense.
Yeah.
What we do is we pinpoint and identify how those symptoms were produced. And you're also going to find that there's going to be at least one distressing event that has caused the symptoms. Yeah. So when we find that event, we get the person to close their eyes and go back into the memory. Now, when a traumatic event occurs, there's something called AMPA receptors that get encoded in the neurons in the amygdala. And these receptors download all the stress that you're sensing, perceiving, and feeling at the time of the trauma. So if your heart's palpitating, you have a knot in your stomach, and everything that you're seeing and hearing associated with those feelings at that moment in that event, all that gets encoded into those receptors. Yeah. So the event's over, you're okay, and you're going through your life, but something reminds you of that event consciously or subconsciously. And what that does, it reactivates the amygdala and it fires off those AMPA receptors, and they release cortisol and adrenaline into the body, which then produce the symptoms. Right. So what we do is we get the person to think of the memory or the event. When the AMPA receptors fire, there's something called a phosphate molecule that's holding them there. That phosphate molecule is now exposed for about 10 minutes. Then we ask the person to think about something else, like walking on a beach or through a park or hum a song. The distraction, that's the distraction of visualization part, displaces the traumatic memory out of the working memory, because it's very difficult to think of two things at the exact same time. Yeah. And then we start applying the havening touch and producing those delta waves. The word havening, by the way, means bringing you to a safe place, to a safe haven. So that's kind of like a summary of how we begin. And to give you one other brief summary, what's actually happening in the brain when we're havening someone is when those AMPA receptors are fired and we're actually havening someone, those delta waves are going into the neurons with these AMPA receptors. And as they enter, the delta waves create a chemical called calcineurin inside the neurons. And that calcineurin unglues or removes that phosphate molecule, and the AMPA receptors then disappear. And what that means, the emotional and physiological components of the trauma, those distressing feelings, are now removed and delinked. So it's actually removing and clearing the anxiety from the memory, and any triggers, cues, or stimuli that was triggering off the anxiety, the panic attacks, or the trauma can't trigger it anymore, because we've actually changed what's happening in the brain, and those AMPA receptors are now gone.
So, Stephen, somebody comes into your for a treatment, and what, an hour later or whatever it is, they're walking out feeling completely different, and they probably wonder what's happened to them.
Yes, they are. People are amazed, like they're genuinely so pleasantly surprised, because like we have done, like we know from over 20,000 Haveling sessions from the doctors and myself, and even more from the other clinicians and practitioners we have around the world. It takes on average just 7 minutes to clear a major traumatic memory.
Wow.
Just under 7 minutes.
Wow.
So, and like I've worked with clients who've been doing therapy for months, even years, and then we can come in, they can come in, we can pinpoint, identify it, and actually shift it really quickly.
Wow. So what's I mean, typically for I know from my sort of healing journey, if you like, I would keep going back to therapists over and over, for acupuncture and for kinesiology and for all different treatments. And I'd sort of, I guess I'd keep on going back over and over again. I'd feel better, but then I'd maybe slip back into old habits or something. But this is sort of different, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those approaches are very good for general well-being, promoting a sense of calmness, even for helping develop resiliency. The big difference with the neuroscience behind Haveling is that we understand now how to pinpoint, as I mentioned, and identify what's causing the symptoms, and most importantly, the treatment itself, the Haveling techniques, actually reduces the result, because it's actually changing what's happening in the brain in regards to where the trauma got encoded, and we're de-encoding it. It's like the light switch was turned on, we're switching the light switch off on the anxiety.
Yeah. So typically, do you find, Stephen, that people don't come back to you, they're so happy with the results that they don't actually come back to you for a second session, or is that?
Yeah, well, I'm doing Haveling. I was one of the very first practitioners to be trained in the world, going back 8 years ago. Yeah. I have done over 5,000 Havelings in the last 8 years, and I've ran multiple trainings here in Ireland and even abroad. And the way we work with clients, the way I work with clients is I do a 4-session program. Yeah. And we teach that to people in our trainings as well. And in the first session or two, we're really going in and working on the past in regards to how it's affecting them in the present, and clearing up the trauma and the issues. Yeah. By the time we get to session 3 and 4, we're working more on developing and building and boosting that emotional resiliency, that sense of self-confidence, the ability to regulate your emotions even better, being more focused on where you're going in your life. So it's not just about clearing trauma, it's also about developing that resiliency, and also teaching people how to use the techniques to help prevent future traumatization and to keep their emotional resiliency levels high. And we probably need that more than ever before with everything that's going on in the world at the moment.
Yeah. So then the whole concept of self-healing, if you like, where people just do they learn they learn the technique from you, and then they can apply it themselves. So they don't need to come back to you afterwards once they learn.
Yes. Yeah. The aim, obviously, what we teach therapists to do is to obviously resolve the anxiety-based issue as best as possible, if not completely, for the client, but also to empower the client by teaching the client how to use the techniques to keep their, if you like, their mental health in a positive place. What we can actually do for the people watching as well is we can do a little demo now, and everyone can follow along and get an experience of what it's like to do some Haveling, if you're happy to do that, John.
Absolutely, I'd love to, Stephen. So you just guide me through it, so yeah.
Okay, so we'll all do it together, and for anyone watching, you can follow along with us. First of all, don't take anything too traumatic or distressing. Obviously, this is a demo that we're doing live on Facebook. But what I will ask you to think about is maybe think of something that's already stressing in your life. It could be just you know, the lockdown itself, maybe it's affecting you in some way. Maybe you're feeling anxious, worried, upset about it, or just anything that you're feeling uncomfortable about in your life at the moment. And what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just think about that thing that's causing you stress and scale it on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 is very uncomfortable, 0 is calm and relaxed. So we're just going to activate the amygdala a little bit. Then I'll say to you, open up your eyes, clear your mind, and we'll start doing some arm havening. Then we'll do some palm havening. Make sure your hands are clean, by the way, as well, because we're going to do some face havening.
Okay. Okay.
Simultaneously, I'll also be doing some pleasant distraction with you. So I will ask you to imagine walking on a beach, through a park, and we'll do a bit of humming as well, like Jingle Bells, Happy Birthday. If you dislike those songs for some reason, change the visualization. So if you don't like walking along a beach, imagine maybe walking through a park or through some, you know, beautiful scenery where there's some mountains. And then I'm going to ask you to, on a scale of 10 to 0, how you're feeling. So we're going to do this for about 5 to 6 minutes. So I'd like everyone to sit back and make yourself comfortable. And just close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, and as you hear my voice here and my voice there, I'd like you to think about that thing that's stressing you out, that makes you feel uncomfortable. It's causing you some sort of anxiety or uncomfortable feelings. Really focus on it and think about why you're feeling so uncomfortable, or how uncomfortable do you feel. And scale it on a scale of 0 to 10. Notice what number comes to mind. 10 is very uncomfortable at the highest, 0 is calm. Just notice what feelings are coming up, where you sense it in your body. Then open up your eyes, look at me, and clear your mind, everyone. And put one hand on your shoulder and one hand on the other shoulder across your body. And begin stroking very gently from the top of your shoulders all the way down to your elbows. Think if you were comforting a child or even petting a cat or a dog in a gentle, positive way. That's it. Just keep stroking. You can look at me until you find the right rhythm. Nice gentle strokes. Only do it from the top of your shoulder all the way down to your elbows. Now close your eyes and imagine walking out onto a beautiful beach on a bright summer's day. Imagine a beautiful blue sky, yellow sand, the sound of the waves lapping in against the shore. Even the heat of the sunshine and the smell of the fresh sea air. It's like you're on a lovely holiday, just walking along the beach, and maybe it's about 20 degrees Celsius, it's lovely and warm. With every step you imagine taking, count out loud from 1 to 20 with me, with every step you imagine taking. 1, 2, 3,
4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Even imagine a few seagulls flying by in the sky, drifting by. Then for the fun of it, I'd like everyone to sing Happy Birthday to me, just a couple of bars off it. I know it seems strange, but the distraction of the song works really well. And if you can start smiling or laughing a bit, that's a good thing. That increases your serotonin too. So let's sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephen. Happy birthday to you. Good. Keep stroking, taking in a slow, gentle breath as you do. Just focusing on that gentle sensory touch. Very good. Now open up your eyes and look at me, and let's do some palm havening together. So there's all these nerve fibers in your skin, and what you're doing is you're stimulating those nerve fibers, which are producing delta waves in your brain. So just think of gently washing your palms, gently massaging your palms together. That's it, just nice and gentle, gently caressing the palms. Then close your eyes, and let's count backwards together now, from 30 down to 0 in twos out loud. Starting at 30, 28, 26,
24,
24, 22, relaxing with every number, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. That's it. Keep stroking the palms of your hands, focusing on that soft sensory touch. Then I'd like you to sing Row Your Boat with me. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Good, keep stroking, taking in a slow, gentle breath. Relaxing with every breath, relaxing with every gentle stroke and touch. And as you keep stroking your hands, the palms of your hands, it's called palm havening. Just notice on a scale of 10 to 0, what number comes to mind now. First number that comes to mind, just notice what it is. Then open up your eyes and look at me. And begin very gently massaging around your forehead and your face. Once again, think if you were comforting a child or even petting an animal, do it with a healing, positive intention. You're gently washing your face, gently caressing your face. Then I'd like you to close your eyes. I'd like you to imagine a beautiful staircase in front of you. It could be a staircase in a beautiful 5-star hotel or a castle or a palace, or it could just be a very plain, simple staircase. I want you to imagine there's 20 steps on this beautiful staircase. And as you walk up the staircase, with every step you take, count out loud from 1 to 20 with me as you imagine walking up each step. And every step causes you to relax a little bit more. Starting at 1, keep stroking your face. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very good. Keep stroking. Then I'd like you to sing the song Twinkle Star with me. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Good, keep stroking around your forehead and the cheeks. Once again, creating and producing those lovely delta waves, taking in a slow, gentle breath with your eyes closed. Very good. And just notice on a scale of 10 to 0, what number comes to mind now. Whatever number pops into your mind. And then open up your eyes, look at me, and we're going to do just one more round. So we'll finish up on the arm havening, stroking from the top of your shoulders all the way down to your elbows. Yeah, that's very good the way you're doing that, John. And then we'll do a wee bit more distraction. So everyone, again, I'd like you to close your eyes. I'd just like you to imagine walking in your favorite place. It could be a park, it could be up the mountains, it could be by the beach, it could even be through a beautiful city or street. Just think of your favorite place that you love to go to. That's like a special place for you, or a place that you enjoy walking in. And as you begin to imagine it in your mind, imagine being there walking in that landscape, seeing what you see, hearing the sounds. And with every step you imagine taking, count out loud from 1 to 20 with me. Starting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relaxing with every step. 6. Keep stroking your arms. 7, 8, 9. Really visualizing what you're seeing. Walk along there, the beautiful sights, sounds, smells. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's it. Keep stroking. I'm just going to go back again, and we're going to sing a few bars of Happy Birthday for the fun of it. Starting again with Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephen. Happy birthday to you. Gently keep stroking, taking in a slow, gentle breath as you do, relaxing with every breath. Just enjoying the gentle lightness of letting go. That's it, stroking from the top of your shoulders all the way down to your elbows. Then you can gently open up your eyes. And if you wish, you can take a little stretch. Maybe a drink of water. And just take a moment to relax and take it easy. And just notice how you're feeling in your head, in your body. You may notice you feel a little bit lighter. Some people sometimes feel a bit tired or sleepy. They notice that sometimes they're physically more relaxed. Sometimes people can feel even a bit heavier, lighter, calmer, more at ease. Just notice how you're feeling. How are you feeling, John?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm feeling amazing. I don't know where I was there. I really got into that. What were we talking about?
Yeah, and that's just a little, like, you know, it's great talking about all the neuroscience behind Haveling and how it works, but there's nothing like giving people an experience of doing it, so you really get it.
That was lovely. That was lovely. Really lovely now, and I just really relaxed and really enjoyed it. And you sort of lose track of time there for a minute. I don't even know how long we're doing that for. But
yeah, we were probably doing that for, yeah, it's not actually half one. We're probably doing that for about 7-8 minutes. Yeah. But that's like a little taster of what Haveling
I feel like taking the rest of the day off, Stephen, and going to my daughter lives in Perth, so I was actually on the beach in Perth there when I was with my eyes closed, and it felt great, you know. So
yeah. Yeah, that's a really good type of distraction to you.
I'll take the rest of the day off now. So
Yeah, and what I'd like everyone to do, just one final thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of think back for a moment on the thing that was stressing you out, making you feel a bit uncomfortable. Just take a moment. You can close your eyes if you want. Think about what's making you feel uncomfortable and just notice what the difference is or what has changed.
Yeah. It's completely gone. It's like
right.
Yeah.
By the way, if you know you want to do a bit more havening on this as well, you can go to I have a YouTube channel. Just type in Stephen Travers havening into YouTube, and I have some videos there that you can follow along with too. As well. If anyone does have a serious anxiety-based disorder or issue, obviously they're more than welcome to contact me as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. Steve, I love that. And you're doing some training coming up at the end of February, isn't it?
Yes, we have the certified havening techniques training happening on the 27th and 28th of February, live online on Zoom. So that's 2 days. That's a lot of therapists do it, coaches, people into personal, professional development, obviously people working with anxiety-based disorders with clients. So that's jam-packed 2 days of live demos where I work with the students. They're working on real issues. After the demos, you break out into groups of 3 in the Zoom rooms. We also have a certified havening facilitator that goes into that room with you, and you actually practice the techniques on each other. And then we obviously go into much more detail about the neuroscience, how to pinpoint, identify trauma, and all the various different types of havening techniques.
Brilliant, Steve. And you're also going to come and do a chat for us on next Tuesday night at 6 o'clock in the Your Holistic Academy group, yeah?
I am, yes, absolutely. And for anyone watching or who's attending, if they do have a specific issue they want to work on, like a traumatic memory or something distressing them that happened to them recently or in the past, I'll be happy to do a live demo with them on that presentation.
And what we're going to do, Stephen, we're actually going to advertise that, and we're going to invite people outside of the Holistic Academy group as well. We're going to invite people to come to that, because I think it's fabulous, and anybody who wants to come to that event, we're going to advertise that event and invite people to come along to it as well. So it's 6 o'clock next Tuesday night, and if anybody has questions or interested in the training, then they can ask you as well on the night. So,
yeah, we'll do some Q&A as well, and we'll also do a bit more group havening, and I'll have a bit of a PowerPoint slide, just a few slides to give you from the training itself, just to give people more in-depth insight about what havening is and how it actually works. Plus, they can go to my website as well. There's lots of information there.
That's brilliant, Stephen. So what I'll do is I'll say we'll advertise and invite people to come to that event next Tuesday night, 6 p.m. And that's on the Your Holistic Academy page, the Facebook page, to be able to find the details of that event. And also, we'll advertise in the comments with this video how to get in touch with you and how to access your training, Stephen. And that was really fantastic. I really enjoyed that. I mean, that was just a brilliant feeling great after. Really
great. And I said that's just a taster. That's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I'm so much looking forward to another session, Stephen. So I'll definitely see you again on Tuesday night anyway. Yeah.
Okay, that's great, John. Thank you for having me. I hope everyone enjoyed our talk today. And as I said, feel free to check out the website. And if you can come along on Tuesday, that'd be brilliant.
Brilliant, Stephen. Thank you so much. And listen, I'll talk to you Tuesday. Yeah.
John, thank you very much. Bye now.